Happy New Comic Day and welcome to another Wednesday comic show. In this episode, we're going to be looking at places where you can find comics. You're probably sitting back thinking, oh, I'd like to get into some comic books, but I don't know where to find them. I got you covered. I'm going to show you exactly where you can find some. But before we get into that, let's talk about some new books because there are a couple books out today that I think you might want to take a look at. First, we're going to start over at DC with Milestone Returns. We got Icon and Rocket, Season 1, Number 1. Long ago, the stranded alien known as Artemis gave up hope of returning to his home planet. Tragically, he'd also realized that his adopted home of Earth was beyond saving. Content to waste away his long life in a human guise, Artemis was past caring until the day a young woman named Raquel Urban crashed into his life. Soon she convinced him to put his incredible power to work again as a heroic icon and to transform her into his sidekick, Rocket. But an innocent question on Rocket's part, why can't we do something about the drugs on my corner, quickly set a chain of events in motion leading to the pair becoming the most hunted beings on Earth. And they're not just being pursued by Earthlings either. Writer, director, and producer Reginald Hudlin and superstar artist Doug Braithwaite unleashed a tale of power and responsibility that will stretch from the boardrooms of corporate America to the jungles of South America and the depths of deep space. If you've ever thought there were certain things that a superhero story just couldn't do, it might be time to start thinking different. So again, this is all part of the Milestone Returns push, and what I really hope is that DC really goes into this and pushes it. Now, it's also unfortunate we haven't had conventions to lead up to this, where that would have been a great time to just get a bigger reach with a large amount of comic book fans and even potentially hand out promo materials and like small preview issues just to kind of highlight all the books that are coming back. But that's just kind of where we are right now. So again, we already had Static Shock, hardware's on the way as well, and I just think this is just cool, and I know a lot of people have been excited about it, and I just hope it just leads to some cool stuff, some cool stories, and people like newer fans who've never been exposed to Milestone kind of coming back into this. And I'm just glad to see some of the original creators have a hand in this as well, and I think that's just all dope. So again, my strongest thing is I just hope DC just really pushes this and like previews and online stuff and just kind of get the word out and don't just kind of slip by, and then if things don't work out, then they kind of blame fans or blame diversity for not having any sort of success, when oftentimes we've seen this from many publishers, especially the big two. When we have diverse things like this, they don't get the strongest push, and then that information just doesn't reach a lot of fans, a lot of comic fans. So just hoping for that. So yeah, Icon and Rocket, Season 1, Number 1. And now we jump over to Aftershock for Shadow Doctor Number 5. This little story I'm digging, 20s, 30s mob stories, a black doctor who's a worker for Al Capone. And I'm digging this one. I'm all in. I want to keep reading this. So issue number 5, we have Nathaniel's work for Al Capone's mafia is far from over, but now Nathaniel wants out. Can he settle his debts and get away from Scarface? So again, just a little brief thing there, and nearly close to wrapping this up. I do believe it is 6 issues. But if you like those kind of old like mob stories again, you got mafia, Al Capone stuff, take place Chicago's 20s, 30s, which I just like the history of Chicago, and it's like period pieces are always just a cool way to kind of explore that and just kind of add new stories into those locations or to those times. So I'm digging this, and if you're interested in this kind of thing, definitely go check this out. So Shadow Doctor Number 5 from Aftershock Comics. And a special shout out to a book that I actually kind of want on my bookshelf. We got Captain America Omnibus Volume 3, going back to some OG Cap stories. The early 70s were interesting times for America and adventurous ones for Captain America. Featuring more than 40 issues of Cap action, this oversized omnibus collects writer Steve Englehart and artist Sal Buscema's iconic run on the Star-Spangled Avenger. Cap battles enemies and allies, including Dr. Faustus, S.H.I.E.L.D., and the Captain America and Bucky of the 1950s. And that's just the beginning. The Falcon co-stars throughout, and only the combined efforts of Cap, Falcon, S.H.I.E.L.D., and the X-Men can hope to topple the secret empire. Prepare to relive a shocking saga that defined Captain America for a generation. But what happens when Cap quits and becomes a nomad? Each issue has been beautifully restored, including the original letter pages, collecting Captain America 1968, numbers 149 through issue 192, coming in whopping $125. So Captain America Omnibus, I have a few Omnibus in my collection on my bookshelf. If you saw my book tour, which you can go back, or my bookshelf tour, which you can go back and watch, you will see a few of those on there. And I I like Omnibus, even though I like collecting single issues. I have Omnibus. A lot of the Omnibus I have some of the issues of. And I just think they're just cool. Something cool for your bookshelf to have nice hardcover, like restored issues or kind of reprinted issues of decades past. Just something special shout out. So Captain America Omnibus Volume 3. Now let's get into the topic of today's Wednesday comic show. Where can you find comics? Now, if you're new to comics, you're probably thinking the first thing you did was just Google comic shop. Where can I find comics? Comic shops. And that's a logical thing. So one easiest thing to do, just comic shops near me or comic shops in your city. I want to introduce you to another tool if you haven't heard of this website, comicshoplocator.com. A fantastic resource, one I utilize anytime I travel. I like to travel, and one of the things I always do, I have to hit up comic shops in the area, 1, 2, 3, however many I can find or that I have time to visit. And I definitely recommend you do this as well. You can search by city. I always usually just do the zip code of whatever area I'm going to be in, or sometimes I'll look up the zip code of a city I might be interested in just to see the comic shops in the area. And one of the cool aspects of this is when you search up, it'll give you a list of nearby comic shops. And depending on the amount of details, it will give you links to the website, their Facebook profile, which is a great tool if they utilize social media. And it will give you some details about the shop, what kind of books they carry or other materials. It'll say back issues, newer issues, supplies, gaming stuff, other memorabilia, collectibles, action figures and t-shirts, that type of thing, statues, and gaming materials as well. So comicshoplocator.com, a fantastic resource, especially if you like to travel as I do and you want to check out the local scene and local shops. So comic shops are obviously the number one spot that people can find comics in. Days of finding comics on newsstands are long gone, but they kind of have been resurging thanks to Walmart. So, and Target to an extent too, because you can find some trades at Target. But Wally World, if you follow me for a while, I like doing these unboxings or unpackings of some of the comic packs. Marvel and DC both provide comic packs to Walmart. Marvel 3 packs for $8.98, and DC offers 4 packs for the same price. So going to get these mystery packs, which I like doing, they're just fun to open and just to kind of see what kind of cool books you might find in those. And previously they'd offered, or DC's offered these 100-page giants, which were cool. They were like $5 and usually contain 4 to 5, 6 stories. And sometimes there would be a couple reprints in there, as well as 2 to 3 new issues, which I thought was great for readers to get exposed to newer stories, as well as older stories that they missed, and then different creators. So those are days gone. That's a couple years old now. So now it's just the comic packs, but that's just another place where you can find comics. Walmart. Now some other places, we know Borders and Barnes and I don't know if Barnes and Noble is even around anymore, but those kind of bookstores aren't really around anymore. But there are some other ones, including BAM, aka Books A Million. If you follow me for a while, I've shopped there and I'm showing shopping footage from there and several hauls. But they offer a wide selection of graphic novels, other collected editions, and manga. And then they also offer a nice selection of single issues, which I like to go through. Some short boxes, plenty of those. I've gone through both of those. And then there are also stores like Ollies, and I think there's another one that might be maybe a West Coast store. But I can't remember the name of it, but a lot of other YouTubers on the different coasts have seen those. Ollies is a place that I want to go to. A lot of people have shown off shopping footage from there and their hauls, discount stores, trades, mystery packs. I don't know if they offer single issues, but like big packs of comics and different trades. So that's the store. Again, whenever I find a location, I definitely want to hit those up because those just look like they offer just tons of treasures and great places to find reading material for cheap, which is like the subject for a later video. I want to talk about some places where you can find great deals on comic books. Now, shifting from some physical spaces to the virtual world, we're going to talk about some online resources, and you have to start with the most obvious. Comic shops would be the most obvious for physical space. eBay is easily the best place to find stuff online, and one of the most common places because it's going to have the wider reach. A lot of people use eBay for a variety of things. If you've ever been on there, you can find almost anything on eBay. Like, that's just how wide the variety of products are offered on there. So eBay, and then you have other places, mycomicshop.com, which I've used them since 2004 for back issues, and then I've got into pre-ordering with them a few years ago, and it's a fantastic service. I absolutely love it and encourage all of you to do it. It's a great place. 35% off pre-order stuff is a fantastic deal. It's hard to beat that. And $5 shipping, and you can piggyback, add other orders onto that shipping each month for like $5 flat rate. Stop it. That's a stupid deal. I'm taking that anytime. And there are several other services as well. I know people who use DCBS, and Midtown offers one. Westfield offers pre-order service as well, and there are several other ones as well. So there's just some strong resources right there. Mile High Comics is another one, but I just present that out there just for you to have an option, something to look at. But I've often found that their prices are a little bit high, so depending on what you're looking for, but it's just a resource that you can check out as well. And then there are plenty of other comic shops. A lot of comic shops also maintain their own website, so you can find great deals there. Online dealers, online retailers. And I would also caution you, though, be careful of looking at some of these, because you don't want to get scammed by people. Like, they might put up a website and like they show that they offer all these different books and all of this. Just make sure you look into them, do a little bit of due diligence, and check out if they have links to other social media just to see if they're active, and maybe you can find like people who might be behind it, just so you don't get scams. Always looking to protect you whenever I do. Just kind of tips. Just beware. Just be cautious. I don't want any of you to get ripped off and to get scammed out of your hard-earned money. So lots of online avenues as well. Those eBay and then other retailers, but there's also individual sellers. Besides eBay, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook Marketplace. There are different apps out there. I've talked about some of these in previous videos. So you can find books if you're looking for specific books or just hoping to catch some deals on other books. You can find them from individual people, like nobody who even has a full like brick and mortar store, but just, hey, you know what? I just sell books online, and that's just a great resource as well. You can put money right back into the comic book community by supporting some people who may create content, but they also sell books on the side. And like, oh, you know what? They have this. Oh, hey, let me get that. And then that can support them. You get a good book, and that's just comic community helping out each other. So that's a great avenue to go as well. Another resource, besides the kind of connected to online and physical spaces, kind of merging the two, garage sales, estate sales, and flea markets. Like, I'll be cautious with flea markets because oftentimes you're going to find overpriced books, but it's still just a place to check. Like, you might have a flea market near you that you've never gone to. Hey, go check it out. You never know what you're going to find. And as far as garage sales and estate sales, I've been successful at a couple of those. I've hit, I think, 2 for 2 for garage sales and 1 for 2 for estate sales. So I found one estate sales a few hours away. I talked about this one. Found some great deals, tons of cool books, and I hit a comic shop in that area as well. And I hit another one recently. Absolutely nothing, but my curiosity got the best of me. I had to check it out. I was driving and I passed by and I saw the sign, and I was like, what are the chances they have comics? I'm thinking it's pretty low based on where I was, but my curiosity just kept digging at me, and I had to turn around. I went back, absolutely nothing, so I wasted that, but I sated my curiosity, so I guess that's kind of that. But garage sales, I found 2 garage sales. One I searched up and made a specific trip for, and came away with a bunch of comic books and some baseball and football cards as well. And then another one I found by chance. I just happened to be driving on my way to a comic shop, and I just saw the sign on the side of the street, and it said garage sale, and they had like specifically mentioned comic books. So I stopped. I turned around immediately. If they put comic books on the sign, they have a lot of comic books. So I went over there and scored a bunch of books, scored some Spawn books that filled some holes in my collection, and a couple other things as well. I think I got some Birds of Prey books, and I found just a bunch of cool books for like 50 cents each or something like that. So that was fantastic. So garage sales, estate sales, definitely recommend searching for those. How can you find those? Facebook Marketplace is a great place to find some of those as well. And there are several other estate sites, estatesales.org, I think, or estatesales.com, something like that. There's several estate sales, but you can also do estate sales, like just search estate sales by like your city or whatever, just Google that, and you can kind of see or state sales with comic books, and hopefully you can kind of come across something like that. But those are just fantastic resources as well. Again, flea markets kind of vary, but just something, hey, you know, you can just check out and kind of see. Antique stores again, but antique stores kind of similar to flea markets when we had the whole big push within those last decade, 2 decades, where all these, you hit record numbers on these older books selling. So all of a sudden people are pulling out their old comic books and they're not as old as they think, and certainly nowhere near as valuable as they would hope. So they're trying to sell these books that aren't that great at exorbitant like prices, and obviously that's not going to fly. So most comic collectors are not going to bother with that. So just be cautious, just kind of know what you're going in for, and just kind of do some research if you're looking for anything specific, or if you find something, to look it up real quick, and just to avoid overpaying. As far as online resources with individual sellers, I think Facebook and Instagram are probably 2 of the better resources. Instagram just because of the reach, and a lot when you're dealing with hashtags, and that's also the kind of the drawback of it too, because if you're searching for a book that you want to buy, there isn't a lot that you can do to kind of, at least nothing built in obviously, but you're gonna have to do some searching to find stuff like that. But Facebook offers, there are several groups on Facebook, like buy sell trade groups or just comic collecting groups, so you can connect with people there. And then Facebook Marketplace, I've arranged and bought books off Facebook Marketplace. I bought a little run of West Coast Avengers that I was after from someone, and then we met up and I got those, and I've used it for other things, like non-comic related things as well. The Facebook Marketplace is something that I use as well, similar to Comic Shop Locator. When if I'm going to be traveling and I'm like, hey, I'll look up the city and I'll just search for comic books, whatever, comic collections, to see what might be nearby, and maybe I can find just either one book I'm looking for, or a set of books, maybe potentially a small collection or a larger collection, just to kind of see what's out there. So it's just a great way to kind of keep on top of things, and just a way to search, like, hey, you know what? And you can even search your area and kind of expand that search. And that's what I like to do. Just kind of check periodically, just to see what's out there. Maybe I might take a trip, find something cool. So that's just another strong resource I recommend for checking if you're looking for comic books. But again, all of these resources are just some, I just wanted to share these with you. Like, hey, you know what? Just kind of expand your base and give you some ideas of where to search for comics. And the first thing to keep in mind is, what are you looking for? If you're looking for newer books versus older books, maybe you want to step up, start buying collections, or you're looking for specific graded books, and all of this, or a place to even potentially sell books. So just some strong recommendations, a lot of stuff, and some things to be aware of. Again, be careful of scams. If a deal is too good to be true, if it seems too good to be true, it likely is. So again, I don't want anyone to get ripped off and scammed. Like, this is comics. You should be able to have fun and use your hard-earned money to add to your collection and enjoy some cool books, and just take full advantage of this medium and enjoy it. So hopefully this all helped you. Let me know if any of these, what you thought of any of these tips. Maybe some of these are new to you if you're new to comics, or maybe if you've been in comics for a while and you just haven't thought about some of these things. Let me know in the comments below. Happy reading, happy hunting, happy collecting. This is GENOTHADRAGON. Thanks for watching, and peace out.